Okay, thank you for joining me again. Let's start with today's session. My name is Luciana Pierangeli. I'm a wellness coach, and I look at health in a transformational, holistic way. And I like to speak about the four pillars: the physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional. And I believe my favorite word is balance. And I believe that if we keep as balanced as possible these four pillars, we'll have a better life. Better life meaning more enjoyable, being more expanded. Okay, we are speaking about expansion and contraction, right? The intention of these talks is to first of all create awareness of emotions in general, but also awareness where we are at. And I'm saying this because the aim is to create, at the end of these 5 days, to create a personal manifesto. I want you to take something that is extremely personal. It's 100% personal to you. So the exercise that we are doing is every day we write at the end of the day the emotions that came up for us. We just write them down. It's just for awareness to acknowledge them. We don't need to do anything else. Just write them down. What are emotions? Literally, emotions comes from emotere, Latin root, energy in motions. And as such, energy in motion is neutral. It's just energy moving. We always speak as if it's a river. We have a river of information, a river of energy flowing around our body. So that's emotion. And if emotion is neutral, we think about a situation. We give the example of finishing high school, going overseas to university. Situation, neutral, no emotion. Now, person A, Jade, got excited. Yeah, overseas, new people, new places, my own room, my own rules, excitement. Same situation, Sally, I'm going to miss my parents. I'm going to miss my friends, my room, what I'm going to do. I don't know anyone. Fear, maybe anxiety, maybe sadness. Same situations, two different outcomes. This is the outcome, the result. We are using this hand. So these are the emotions. And these are the outcomes, the results, the evidence. So we said that by giving meaning to an emotion which is neutral, we label it, and the feeling is either expanded or contracted. If we are like Jade, joyful Jade, we are expanded. If we are like Sally, sad Sally, we are contracted. So, and how do we create meaning? With our thoughts. So thoughts create meaning, and the meaning labels the emotion, and it's either expanded or contracted. This is where we're coming from. Okay, so, and we spoke the first day about sadness. Yesterday we spoke about worry, and today we will speak about fear. But before we get to that, the way I chose to bring in traditional Chinese medicine. Why? Because the main 5 emotions within traditional Chinese medicine are sadness, worry, fear, anger, and what's the other one? Anxiety. So these are the 5 main emotions. And by the theory of the 5 elements, which are the basic elements of the material world, which are metal, wood, fire, water, and earth, we can connect the emotions to body parts. This is the reason why I'm bringing this, because sometimes for some people, for some of us, it's easier to see the ailments, the dis-ease, the no flow, that evidence. In for example, when we are talking about sadness, we speak about the lungs, anything in the upper respiratory system, or constipation. For worry, we said the earth, the spleen or the stomach, any stomach issue could be related to the emotion worry. So this is the link that we are making. And today we're going to speak about fear. Fear is linked to the element of water. Water, how essential is that? And through the 5 element theory, every element, in this case water, is linked to 2 main organs. in this case, water is linked to the kidney and the bladder. Those are the two main organs. And also the bones, the bone marrow, and the central nervous system. So this gives us an idea that if we experience any condition, any disease or illness or ailment related to any of the things, we could, as an option, come from an emotional point of view and see what emotions could possibly be stuck in that area, or what emotions could be possibly giving us that situation. Because the motion is energy in motion. It's like the river, we said, water. Today we're speaking about the water element, and we want the water to flow. A river, if it doesn't flow, it's not a river. If it overflows, it might become a lake, or if it overflows even more and it becomes dry, there's not even water, or it can become a waterfall. So we want the flow, and even if it becomes a little pond, it might become stagnant, so the energy doesn't flow, and then is when the blockage is translated into this is, because there's no ease of flow. So this is how we are viewing the emotions from this point of view. And today we're going to focus on fear, and this one is a little bit different. If you were the previous days, you realize that it's a little bit different, and we spoke a little bit about this. Before that, let me just give you an idea of these issues that can be related to the water element and to the bladder. Like, well, the bladder can be any urinary infection, could be any kidney bladder infection. What else? Back pain. Yes, back pain. That's a big one, eh? Like the kidneys are also in this area. Back pain. That's quite like it's actually one of the main reasons why after stress people go and seek for help. Back pain. So if we have back pain, let's see. Okay, is there any fear? What type of fear can be? Might we be carrying, or might we be literally carrying that energy that is stuck and is not flowing? And if we go a little bit further, yesterday we were speaking about worry, and it's in the stomach. We spoke about briefly about the chakra, the solar plexus, the power. Today, the kidneys are lower down, the lower back is closer to the first chakra. The first chakra is the root chakra, and this is related with financial fear, the financial issues. So this is how we can start relating things, and we can start taking what's actually happening in our lives and putting it together and seeing if it makes sense or it doesn't, just to get a picture of where we are at. That's the aim, awareness of what's happening in our lives. And once we get the awareness, we can do something with it. We can choose to change if we want. As we were saying, because the emotions, when they are labeled, they become expanded or contracted by the meaning that we give. This gives us the power of choice. This gives us the right to exercise this power of choice, because now we can choose. We can choose to think like joyful Jade, happy for this situation, or sad for the same situation. I think that's, to me, that's the key point. And actually, this is what you need to take home. This is the take-home message from all the talk. And obviously, we speak about every emotion because it gives you ideas of what it could be, and how you can actually look from that point of view. All right, so the kidneys, actually fear. We're speaking about fear. Fear, and we said it, fear, actually emotions are here also to help us navigate life. You know, they're here, we say that they're here for a reason, but fear is a survival emotion. We have innate systems that are for survival. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here talking to you, and that would be a pity. So we have these instincts to survive. And this, if we go a little bit into how the system works, basically, when there's a situation that there's real threat, and I'm talking real threat, like dead threat, so it has to be real. Our system immediately, we have the amygdala, it sends all the hormones and everything rushing down our spine, our nervous system, it floods everything, our heart starts pounding, our breath becomes shorter, our blood changes. We spoke a little bit about this. Our blood goes to our extremities. Why? So we can either run or fight. Okay, if there's a lion, as we were speaking, probably you won't fight. And actually, you can even froze. You fight or flight, but you can also freeze. You can freeze and play dead, like the bats. You can play dead. That's also a mechanism of defense, because we want to, we want defense, protection, or preparation to do something. Depending on how far the threat is, if you have a threat, someone that is attacking you and is right here, your response will be different as if you have meters that you can run. But if someone is already here, maybe you freeze. So it depends on the situation. But the point is that the mechanism is there for you. Like all those things happen in 1 second. And that response, we want it. So we want that emotion. Emotion is energy, energy in motion. And we want that because we want to survive. Okay, our brain and our body, they have IQ, BQ, this is body intelligence, that they're working very hard for us 24/7. So the idea is to actually support that. With the things that we do, we can support our body. Okay, and there's one fear that is considered not dependent on past experience, and this is a big one, because I know that there's a lot more than just choosing. But this is a possibility. So there's one fear that happens, and it's innate, regardless of past experience, of past personal experience. And that is the fear of falling. If you are on a cliff, about to fall, somehow you landed there, what happens? All the things that we just described physically, but also, and I want to speak about this muscle. We have this muscle, it's called the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle is one of our flexors. It goes from the ribs to our thighs. It's the only muscle that connect the upper body with the lower body, and actually is the muscle that swings our legs and propels us. I know we have, the glutes, the thighs, the hamstrings, but this is the muscle that propels us. And this muscle is called many things. So the muscle of the soul, the trauma muscle, and this muscle, because it's a flexor muscle, when there's a fierce response, it contracts, and it helps us to do this. Imagine if this is your body, the upper and the lower body, and it does this. Why? What do we have here? All our vital organs. So we want to protect. So we do this, we protect our vital organs. And also we are ready to run, or ready to kick or fight, because as I just said, the psoas muscles is the one that you will use to kick or fight. And remember, all the blood is going to be rushing to your extremities. And actually your internal organs, the functions of the internal organs start shutting down, because your body needs resources, and it's gonna use at that point in time what it needs. Okay, so having said that the psoas muscle, and the psoas muscle is PSOAS, it's fascinating, especially because you can hold trauma there. And if you go for body work and you get released, I would say 90% of the time there is an emotional reaction, a release, which is great. Because we spoke about the lion and the impala the first day, remember? Lion chasing an impala. The impala manages to get away, so it stays alive, but there was a fear of being dead, being killed. And all this what we just described happened to the impala, but what happened to the impala afterwards? When the impala saw that he was safe around all other impalas, the giraffe, the zebra, everything was good, it lay down and it started shaking. Because also cortisol and adrenaline gets pumped into our bloodstream to fight or flight. So the main difference between the animal kingdom and our kingdom is that we forget to release that fear and we carry it. We contract when we need, and it's okay, but then we keep on going for a day, for a week, for a month, for a decade. When are we going to do this and let go? So this is something that we need to remember and take home this message to release. We need to let go, because this fear, this emotion, we need it, and it's going to happen, and that's fine. In that situation of possible death, we want it, but still we can be in that situation and then not release. We can be in a car accident, which you will experience that fear of immediately protection. It's natural. We do it naturally. And actually, when that is happening, our rational part, the frontal cortex, gets like shut down. So we don't have to think, oh, what should I do? Maybe I should cover my face. No, there's no time to do that, or anything similar. That's why our body is so intelligent, shuts down everything that we don't need at that point in time. Even if we have already, like we were speaking about stomach, maybe you have a stomach ulcer or cancer or any of these things. When something like fearful like this happens, life-threatening, if it's life-threatening, everything gets shut down. Nothing else matters, literally. So that's one thing with fear. But again, the important part is, what do we do when we experience fear? Do we keep the fear and we take it for yes? And yes, when we get body work, we release. Do we release all of it? Do we still stay stuck on it? A possible question that we could ask, we asked yesterday, is it true? And then we say, is it always true? Remember, for worry. Here you can ask, is it still true? Because it did happen. Because fear, we need it. But is it still true, that condition or that moment, that situation? Let's take, for example, if we have a car accident, and in the moment, yes, there's a lot of stress, a lot of things are happening. Maybe there's trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma, verbal trauma. But now we are a week later, maybe a month later, maybe a year later. Is it still true that we are in that situation? Most probably the situation changed. So I find that a very good way of, initially we want to be in the present moment. And a question that we could ask yourself is, where am I? This question stops everything, this downward spiraling that we might be having. Where am I? You can take a breath. Took a few seconds. Remember, when we are stressed and we're in fear, the breath is much faster. Our heartbeat is faster. How is our heartbeat now? It's center. It's our normal heartbeat. We can breathe. Long inhale, slow exhale. Where am I? Look around. Okay, I'm in this room. It's my home. There are walls. Do I feel safe? Yes. All right. So I'm already feeling safe. Why would I feel this fear then? The idea is to bring awareness. Remember, emotions, thoughts. We are asking questions to create meaning. The better the questions, the better meaning that we can give to the situation, and to label these emotions to make them work with us. Okay, I believe our body is here to support us. Our mind is here to support us. Our emotions are here to support us. But we also need to retrieve that support as well, so we can work together. Okay, so we want to bring ourselves to the present moment, so we can ask ourselves, where am I? That simple question, where am I? So that's mainly fear. And now other examples for fear in this world, because we have fears that are now irrational, could be considered irrational. We were now speaking about a fear that is life-threatening. What type of fears are there? Fears of animals, like spiders, snakes, birds. Sure, there might be spiders that are poisonous and it could be life-threatening, but the question is it true that all spiders are poisonous? So that's how we can already use the same questions we used yesterday to balance it. Is this true? And if we are thinking of spiders or birds or whatever, okay, is it true that is there a spider right now here? No. But if I think about it and I still get that fear sensation, all that adrenaline running down my body, because that's what happened with emotions. When you start thinking about something, the physical representation happens. That's why if we choose our thoughts, if we balance the thoughts that we have to give a meaning that helps us be in a relaxed, calm state, why not? So what other fears do we have? Fear of losing, if you're a sport person, fear of winning. Fear of winning, that exists. We always then, if we have fear of winning, we somehow make it happen that we create an obstacle in our lives, because we start thinking fear of the unknown. Yes, and also bone. Sorry, I'm reading here. Yeah, water kid disadvantage. Sorry, I missed all the chats of the question. Yeah. Thank you for answering my questions. Sorry, I missed them. Thank you. I'll look at it now and answer. I got so into the talking, I forgot. Yes, thank you, Captain Cam Sparrow. I like that. The unknown, fear of the unknown. Okay, but fear of the unknown, how can we deal with that? What's the unknown? We don't know. Is it true? What about the unknown? What's going to happen in the unknown? I'm going to die? Is it like threatening? We don't know. Is it going to be amazing, fun, joyful, going overseas, meeting people? I don't know. The future is unknown. Yes. But what about unknown? Why would it be fear? The point is that we can actually balance it if we want to give it another meaning. Fear of people talking about you. Fear of people talking about you. Okay. How can you balance that? Let's take the example that I gave yesterday about Peter not replying. Okay, it was Peter not replying, but let's say maybe someone is talking about me or about you, or judgment. Judgment is others' problem. Exactly. Judgment is others' people's problem. It's not about you. It's about them. And again, you're saying fear of people talking about you. Are they talking to you? Are they telling you something? Or are they talking to someone else? If they're talking to someone else, how do you know what they're saying? Did you hear what they're saying? From their mouth. Not hearsay. We don't want hearsay here. Here is straightforward. I'm here talking to you. If you have something to say to me, I want to hear it from you directly. Because then it becomes like a broken telephone. Yes, Antoine, when they're judging, they're actually talking about themselves. I agree. I also agree with that. So if we start thinking, if we have this fear of other people talking about you, balance it. You can balance it out. What's the meaning that you're giving to that? The question is, do you know what they're saying? Did you hear from their own voice what they're saying to start with? If you can say that is true, okay. Can you have a conversation with them and see what they're really saying and they want to say? Yes, no? If you say yes, well, but then you can balance yourself. You can speak about it. Do you believe whatever they are saying about you? Do you believe it yourself? Yes, no? If you say no, boom, that's cancelled. If you say yes, then you can work with that emotion. And then you go deeper in your own time. Like, you don't need to deal with this person. Actually, this person is helping you to bring out an emotion. How cool is that, actually? Fear of getting it wrong. Okay. Fear of getting it wrong. Okay, what's wrong and what's right? You must define what wrong is to you. And then start giving meaning, asking the questions, powerful questions that is going to help you balance. Even if they say, I can't control them. Amina, exactly. Even if they tell you, you can't control them. That's their opinion. What I'm saying now is my opinion. Exactly. You can control your own thoughts and keep your own high vibes. Here we are. You can control your own thoughts, give your own meaning, and generate your own feelings, your own emotions. And you can share your joyful emotions, your expanded emotions. Yes, the goal is to be above 200. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I love it. So yeah, that's fear for us.